Tekken 7 is all about the long-standing feud between 4 generations of the Mishima family. Calling them dysfunctional would be a bit of an understatement. In the past, Heihachi Mishima has tried to kill his son Kazuya by throwing him off a cliff and a volcano. Kazuya has tried to kill his own son Jin. Heihachi's father Jinpachi just won't stay dead, even when a hole is punched in his chest and he turns into dust and he's possessed by a ghost. And the Mishimas apparently have half-relatives all over the world, including Kazuya's adopted brother Li Chaolan and Swedish half-brother Lars Alexandersson. Plus, some of them kind of turn into devils. The Mishimas clearly love a bit of drama, but to be honest, theirs might not be the weirdest or even the most interesting of Tekken's many plotlines. Here are 5 side stories that give the Mishimas a run for their money. Basically, most of the weird or slightly sci-fi stuff in the Tekken series can be traced back in some way to Russian scientist Dr. Bosconovitch. If he isn't feeding ogre blood to rats or creating the robotic jacks, his main goal is researching cloning, cold sleep machines, and human resurrection in order to bring back his dead daughter. He also created the cybernetic Brian Fury, after his rival Dr. Abel reanimated the dead soldier turned detective turned psychopath and then abandoned him when his body started to fail. Bosconovitch's friend Yoshimitsu, a magic ninja with a cursed sword, brought Brian to him. They augmented his body, installed it with a perpetual generator, and were quickly betrayed by Fury, who murdered a bunch of Yoshimitsu's Manji clan friends on his way out of Bosconovitch's lab. No good deed goes unpunished. Despite his extensive work into creating cyborgs and dinosaurs and weird robot fairies with his dead daughter's face and chainsaws for arms, Dr. B has also done research into the connection between the devil gene and male pattern baldness. Possibly at the behest of Heihachi's illegitimate Swedish son Lars Alexandersson, who may also be romantically involved with said dead daughter cyborg Alyssa. Hopefully that means they'll have the old doctor's blessing. Not that there's much he could really do about it, because you don't mess with someone with chainsaws for arms.
Take them away!
Nina and Anna Williams are the daughters of Richard Williams, an assassin for the IRA who, according to Nina's spin-off game Death by Degrees, is killed in gunfire while protecting them both. The sisters each blame the other for his death. Fight a lot over shoes and in graveyards, and Nina goes on to become an assassin assigned to kill Kazuya Mishima. She's unsuccessful because Anna is Kazuya's bodyguard and foils her sister's plans. They start fighting again and Nina is captured by Mishima forces and put into cryogenic sleep to be experimented on by, you guessed it, Dr. Bosconovitch. Anna willingly volunteers for the same process and asks to be awoken at the same time as her sister. Nina is experimented on for 15 years before being released from her sleep by the awakening of Ogre, and somehow on awakening loses all her memories and kind of the ability to feel feelings. Anna, meanwhile, remembers everything. Nina somehow still knew she was a really good assassin though, and began taking on contracts again. She gets a contract from the Mafia to kill Steve Fox, a world boxing champion, and enters the 4th King of Iron Fist tournament in order to kill him. Gaining more information on Fox, Nina discovers that somehow she's his mother. What are the chances? Understandably, this information stops her from carrying out the hit, and she runs away from Fox with Brian Fury's former partner, super cop and professional Jackie Chan impersonator Lei Wulong in hot pursuit. Nina doesn't seem to have any strong feelings or at the very least any curiosity about the whole I somehow have a fully grown son thing. But at some point, she simultaneously rediscovers the fact that she has a sister and the fact that she hates said sister. The two enter the next King of Iron Fist tournament to settle their rivalry, instead of only passive-aggressively meeting once a year at Christmas, like the rest of us. A film director loves their weird chemistry so much that he casts them both in a movie. In a fit of apparent insanity, the director prefers Anna, who always seems to look like she got dressed in the dark, and casts her as the lead, meaning she gets all the praise and adulation on set. Never one to settle for being a Michelle and not a Beyonce, girl same, Nina blows up the film set with Anna and the entire crew still on it. She then becomes a bodyguard to Jin Kazama before Anna shows up and they fight all over again. Their rivalry and subsequent professional killer/film careers make absolutely no sense whatsoever, but at least neither have ever tried to put on an Irish accent. And quite why Steve Fox was created and who his father is remains a mystery to this day. Ling Xiaoyu is one of Tekken's most recognizable characters ever since her first appearance in Tekken 3, when her overall look was a little more questionable. In the beginning, she was only ever interested in her dream of opening a theme park with her pet Panda, but over time has become caught up with the Mishima family's nonsense, partly due to her crush on Jin Kazama, which he's mostly unaware of. After giving up on the theme park idea, she decides a time machine will fix the Mishima family's woes by going back to the incident where Heihachi throws Kazuya off a cliff, the precise moment where the family, quite understandably, starts to fall apart. But in her Tekken 5 ending, Xiaoyu kind of messes up and the events pan out more or less the same as they would have anyway. Her pet Panda is mostly just concerned with making Xiaoyu happy, but does have some aspirations of becoming the head of the Mishima company all on her own, and getting rid of her longtime admirer, Kuma. Who, by the way, is the second Kuma to appear in the series. The original Kuma, Heihachi's bodyguard, appears in Tekken 1 and 2, after which he dies of old age. Kuma 2 takes over from Tekken 3 onwards. He's the first Kuma's son, and is a lot softer than his man-eating father, with interests ranging from TV to farting. Although he inherited his father's rivalry with Paul Phoenix, an American fighter who dreams of battling aliens. Kuma also goes into space, for science or something. In his spare time, he enjoys assaulting unsuspecting strangers in panda costumes.
大丈夫ですか?
Anyone with even a passing knowledge of the Tekken series will be familiar with its kangaroo character, but not as many will be aware that the kangaroo has had a pretty tumultuous family life. The original Roger and his dinosaur pal Alex were created in a lab by, who else? Bosconovitch, at the behest of, who else? The Mishimas. In Tekken 2, Kazuya kinda rightfully claims that the animals are kind of useless as effective weapons, and decides to kill them because that's his solution to everything. Though not before the kangaroo and the dinosaur escape and are taught how to fight by benevolent Mexican wrestler Armor King. I tried to say that with a straight face and completely failed. Ultimately, the criminally underused Jun Kazama saves Alex and Roger and sends them to Australia, where Roger quickly finds a lovely kangaroo wife and has a kangaroo son, Roger Jr. At some point before Tekken 5, however, Roger is recaptured by the Mishimas, and his wife and son decide to enter the tournament in a bid to find and rescue him. At the end of the game, Roger Jr. makes a heartbreaking journey to the lab to find his father, only to discover Roger Sr. has been spending the entire time watching TV, drinking through silly straws, and generally not being all that bothered with reuniting with his family. Roger Jr. uppercuts his deadbeat dad. Having presumably gotten quite good at fighting, Roger Jr. and his mum re-enter the Iron Fist tournament for Tekken 6 to make some easy money. To buy more boxing gloves, I guess? On winning, life seems good again for the kangaroo family, until Mrs. Roger discovers a picture of her husband engaging in some kind of kangaroo orgy, and uppercuts him through the roof. It's fairly safe to assume that after this fact, the Rogers are estranged and or file for divorce. In Tekken Tag Tournament 2's ending, you see that Roger Sr. tries to atone for his past indiscretions, but realizes that the family, plus Alex, who seems suspiciously keen to insert himself into his old pal's family life, are better off without him. Feeling shame, Roger punches himself in the head this time, and tragically gets caught behind a door before a reconciliation with his wife can happen. longtime favourite Tekken character, luchador wrestler King has technically appeared in all Tekken games, despite the fact that there are actually 2 Kings. The first had a goal of setting up an orphanage to stop children growing up on the streets and getting into fighting, which he eventually manages to do with his tournament prize money, and forever after gets constantly mobbed by rotoscoped crowds wherever he goes. The second king was an orphan raised in that very orphanage, who discovers that the original king was murdered by Ogre and that the orphanage was at risk of closure with no tournament prize money coming in. King 2 is trained by the original king's friendly rival Armor King, who has a heart condition and was eventually also murdered by Craig Marduk. The two fight it out for a while but eventually become friends, and discover, to everyone's confusion, that there are also 2 Armor Kings, brothers, one killed by Marduk and one seeking revenge on both Marduk and King 2 for seemingly forgiving Marduk for the murder of Armor King 1. They find out the existence of Armor King 2 by digging up Armor King 1's grave, by the way. This plotline honestly makes no sense, does it? Apparently if you wear spandex, you're just not happy unless you're avenging something. I mean, it's almost like you create fighters first and worry about how they all fit together later. Funny that. But honestly, I love Tekken for all its goofiness, and long may the subplots about aliens and kangaroo orgies and male pattern baldness continue. If you enjoyed this video, do give us a like and maybe even a subscribe, and check out our other videos, including ones exploring weird gaming plotlines that you'll see on screen now. Thanks for watching. Bye!